everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out here midday on a Friday. We're all trying to be a little bit productive here and not start the weekend too early. So this is really important. I get to do a lot of these, but very few of them are really special, like this one with Jerry. Jerry's been a good friend of mine for a long time. Met him at an event. Goodness, where were we? In Missouri at John's house? What, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
I get that. Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Where we met. And yeah, got to be great. But Jerry's really great at systems and sales. And our wholesale company, we've shut it down now because we're so busy with the transactions. But when we were relaunching our company a couple of years ago, I actually sent Heather and our operations team up there to go through training with Jerry. So that's how much I believe in it. I paid for it. It wasn't free. Actually, I think I paid for it twice and didn't send the second person up there. But really an expert and a leader in our industry, and definitely the go-to guy for a lot of the gurus and influencers out there. A lot of people have sent people to his office to get trained. So I was lucky enough to get him to come on here today and drop a little bit of his knowledge. He's been doing this longer than me, and I've been doing it a ridiculous amount of time. So Jerry, I appreciate you coming on today. And
yeah, bro, no problem.
We're gonna drop some bombs here and some good information. So thank you so much. I'm
gonna
absolutely make you the host, and you'll be able to be in control here if I can figure it out.
Awesome, brother.
All right, where you at? More make host. We're ready. Go.
All right. Well, hey David, thank you so much, man, and I appreciate that. I very much think of you too, man, as a very good friend, just somebody that I look up to and respect. And not only you, your whole team, and just everybody is just a great group of people. And I've always thought, and my team feels the same way about you guys. So, I think all of you guys that are on here today, you should be very honored that David does this. And David's just a good person. And I look at it this way, David and I are cut kind of from I look at the same type of materials, same thread, right? Because we're very down to earth people. Neither one of us are running around there with crazy looking, we're not running around in fancy, gold chains and hanging out all over, laying on our cars and taking pictures of a bunch of crap and stuff like that, or being on fake airplanes and all this crap here on things, guys. We're just down to earth people that learn this business, and we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of hard knocks, and we've been able to build this thing up. And so that's what I have to say about David. So I know this is about me sharing to you guys, but I just want to start off by saying that because I think a lot of David on that. Okay. So with that said, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time with you guys, and I want to share with you some slides I put together. And what you're going to see is we're going to talk about how to take real estate that a lot of you are doing now, one level or another. Maybe you're newer, maybe you've been doing it a while, but really take this real estate thing, whether you're wholesaling, fix and flipping, buying and hold, doing land, doing tax deeds, doing notes. I don't really care. The thing is, you guys got to realize this is a business, okay? And that's the thing that I think that most people miss. The whole point of this thing here is they get into this and they never treat it as a business. And because they never treat it as a business, it never goes to the level that it should, okay? And so we got to treat it as a business. I always reference this, David. I always talk, look, if I was going out, open a cell phone business, even my own little cell phone shop.
Yeah.
Okay, am I gonna just do it, hang out part-time in there, just kind of just monkey around with things? No, I'm not. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna open the shop, I'm gonna have a little business plan, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna make this thing happen, I'm gonna figure out how I can really crank up the sales, right? And do all this, and that's what I'm gonna do. So we'll do it for something like this, but then we'll take real estate and act like we're just hanging out and not even treating it as a business.
Yeah.
And so guys, with that said, that's what I want to share with you guys today is I want to talk about really what I look at is three main components. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull my slides off here, Dave, without screwing it up. By the way, guys, David and I are experts at technology, right, Dave?
Oh, yes. My printer doesn't go out the window,
So Dave and I are just amazing, phenomenal experts when it comes to the technology side. Not so. All right. But all right. So first of all, I just want to see, can everybody see the slides? We all good, guys?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And everybody can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to kind of walk through this here. And let me see if we can close. David, let me take this back a minute. Make sure I got the chat set up so I can see a little bit on that too. And guys, as we run through this, if you have some questions, that's cool. I do ask that we don't get too heavy on questions on things towards the end, but I don't want you to, if you have something that's just beating in your head, I don't mind you asking. We don't have a huge crew on here today, so I'm open to working with you guys more on the questions. So that's the nice thing about these smaller, webinars like this. We don't have to deal with 200 people on, right, David?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can get in and get detailed and answer some questions after.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, guys, here's what it all comes down to. It comes down to what we're talking about here is really all about the systems and operations in sales, okay? These are really the essentials to removing yourself from your business while it continues to grow without you. Then be very cautious when I say without you. What I mean by that is without you being in the grind every day, every moving part. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, these are essential. So a lot of you are just getting maybe started, or like I said, you might already have your established business going one way or another. So what we're going to look at, it doesn't really matter where you're at. What I wanted for you to look at is say, hey, where do I fit in on this? Because we can help you in any direction on this. And what we're sharing with you, these are things that will propel you to do better, to be able to help more people and just make a better impact in your business overall. Okay, on things. So, all right. So sounds good. So David, you said we're all good. Everybody can see everything good?
Yeah, we look great. Love it.
All right, cool. So let's talk about this. So first of all, I want you guys to really just kind of get ready to learn. That's what it's going to come down to. Just get ready to learn here. So when we get ready to learn, I think it's really important that you understand what we're going to be learning here today. Okay. And we're going to talk about really three main areas. Like I said, if you really want to make this a business, or if you're currently doing this as a business, and maybe you're doing it full time, maybe you're doing it part time, and however that is, you might be doing it full time and say, hey, I'm doing a couple deals a month or a couple deals every other month. Now I'm going to take it to doing 3 or 4 deals a month. Or if you're in a position where you're doing it part-time, you say, I want to quit my job eventually, and I'm not telling you to do it overnight, but maybe in the next 12 months, okay? Whatever that is. So we got to get clarity on that. So first thing we have to look at is systems. Systems are designed to basically come in to be able to save time, take yourself out of the day-to-day activities, okay, that you should be doing. You cannot do that without the proper systems. Just simple as that, guys, okay? You cannot do that without the proper systems. It does not work. It will never work. And so just get out of your head that you think you're going to be able to do it otherwise, okay? So super important when it comes to this, guys. You got to make sure you understand that, all right? So the other component that we look at is operations, okay? Operations are about, ability to you have a streamlined process, okay? Basically streamline your business and personnel to ensure stability in your business there, the predictability, increase productivity, and then sales. Okay, see, a lot of times people go out there and they start putting all these things. Man, I got to put the system in place. I got to turn around and have the CRM and all this. All that stuff's great, okay? But the thing is, if you can't convert anything, it means nothing. And it means nothing, guys, okay? So what we're going to look at is how to increase your close rate. You have to look at that. You have to look how to do more deals, right? And it comes down to not only, getting more leads in it, but it's understanding how to convert more of those without spending more on marketing. So, all right, so cool. So let's keep on cranking here. So now, a couple things on this, guys. This training is for you guys if you're in a position, even if you're in a position, maybe you're pretty new, and maybe you have done only 5 deals. Look, I don't even care if you've done 1 or 2 deals, okay? That doesn't really matter. But you need a system to follow because you don't know, a lot of people don't even know this, that you can make real estate into a real business, guys. So that's an important component of this. Also this is for the seasoned investors. If you're a seasoned investor, but you're having trouble with hiring, keeping people, your systems are a mess, you're doing everything yourself, you're running on the hamster wheel, and you don't even have time to think about it. Okay. Or if you're in this position too, if you're getting sellers saying, hey, maybe think it over, you're getting beat out on price, sellers going dark on you, you make them an offer, you don't hear back from them. And if you're in the position, guys, right now, one way or another, if you're newer or you're seasoned and your business is just running you instead of you running the business, you need to listen up. Okay. So now I'll tell you who it's not for. This is not a training for non-action takers, guys. Simple as that. Okay, if you're a non-action taker and you're just, what I always say, just interested, but you're not committed, you're probably not going to do much with this. And I'm not trying to be mean. This is just a fact. So people are always what I call an information gathering mode. And I know, David, we've seen this a lot over the years, bro. These people all they want to do is gather information and they don't want to do anything about it. Okay. So here's what I tell people. Simple as this. I said, look, if you're wanting me to work with you and train you, if you just want information, don't bother. Go to YouTube, it's free. I'm not about information. What I'm about is bringing you in, working with you, putting you into a community where you're going to have to come in and do the work and not make excuses. Because community is a supporting network. It's not only that, it's also an ability for me to hold you accountable and actually do the work. It's about that systemizing and that pushing. That's the action takers. So you need to have, and if you're a total newbie, look, if you haven't done anything at all, and all you've done, I can say this, if you're in a position where you're so new, and you've not even made an offer or anything like that, or you're not even studied anything, okay, well, that's something you need to do, okay? But I just have the drive, okay? Because if you're not that action taker, you're never gonna do any with this. So you can change that though, and you can make a decision like right now. So I just want to set that very clear as we go through this. And then the type of person that I'll share here, and this is the person that drives me nuts, because I can have a newbie, I can have a non-action taker, and we can help them if they're willing to listen, but they're coachable.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
right? The uncoachable person, in other words, folks who can't take direction and implement other people's proven systems. And it hits me on this, David, because, it's like what I share, this is 30 years of my life, 30 years of mistakes, 30 years, guys, of doing this. Yeah. So you guys, you got to make sure you understand this, okay?
People, I've found every way to do it wrong, trust me.
Yep.
You're paying me or having me help you to get the easy button.
Absolutely, brother. So, all right, let's keep on rock and rolling, guys. So what I've learned is that typically you're joining us today, you're probably going through at least one of these big 3 challenges that most people face today in the real estate industry. Now I'm going to go through these 3 challenges here, okay? So these 3 challenges, number 1 is you're ready to build this thing into a real estate business, but you don't know how because you're too busy doing everything in your job/business. Now notice, guys, on that, I put in job. A lot of you, what you're doing this more as a job than you are as a business. Now, again, some of you guys could be doing this part-time, that's fine. But even at the amount of time you put into it part-time, are you doing it as a job or as a business? That's what you guys got to start looking at on this, all right? And when you start learning the correct way, that's what changes your game, because I can tell you firsthand, when you're in a position where it's just a job, if you get sick, something happens to you, you don't have a business because it doesn't continue to go if everything depends on you, okay? Then also, the second thing I look at is you're unclear on how to systemize and buy back your time. Guys, think about this. Why do we get into business? Do we get into business to work more hours? None of you guys do that. The reason you get into business, you want to be able to build something where you can buy back your time, okay? So we have to do it the right way. And then the third component that I see that people struggle with right now is you or your team, if you have a team, struggle closing deals that you know you should be closing. These are the main 3 components that I see people suffer with right now. Now, let's just make a deal here as we go through this, guys. So first of all, I want to say, take some time here. Please listen to me on this. You got to take and just put your phone on do not disturb. Turn off your TV if you're in that area. Close your door, turn off, get rid of your distractions. That's what you got to do, okay? What I'm sharing with you, just some of the things I'm sharing with you today with the time we have can make a huge difference in your business and in your life. But if you're playing with your phone, you're doing all this other stuff, you're not going to get anything out of it, Okay. So just get a pen, get some paper, and let's just be ready to rock and roll. Is everybody good? Give me a thumbs up, guys. I can see it in the chat. Let me know you guys are ready to roll, and let me know too, guys, that you're focused and ready to rock. Okay. Because I like when I'm sharing my time like this, I know that I'm sharing a lot of value, and I want to share it to people that take it seriously. I want to respect your time, and I want you guys to respect my time. Fair enough? So, all right, cool. So let's keep on rolling. So based upon that, I promise you guys, what you'll do is you'll leave here today with a clear, actionable plan that you can take this path forward that will allow you to work less, do more deals, and grow. Simple as that. So first thing we got to do is getting legal requirements out of the way, right? So just so you guys understand that, what you'll discover during this event are strategy and skills that took me decades to figure out. So don't think you're going to get it overnight. So this is for educational purposes only. What we discuss here today does require work, and results are not typical. So you know what? You have to it's as simple as this. You either get your butt up and make it happen, because it doesn't happen otherwise. Right there, David? Business is not about not doing work.
No. Heather Anderson, my operations manager, says all the time, if you do the thing works, but you got to do the thing.
100%. You're not doing the thing, doesn't matter. Right. All right, cool. All right, so look, guys, I know some of you might already know me and know who I am, but just real quickly, a little bit about myself here. I've been in a position where I've been doing this a long time. I got a wonderful wife. We've been married now 21 years, 5 kids, real estate entrepreneur, coach, author. My superpowers are sales, especially in the acquisition side of things, breaking down complex things to make it easier to understand and help people grow to a 7-figure business in real estate. And that's what I'm really good at. Man, those are really my superpower ninja skills. I've been doing this business since 1994. That's when I first started in this business. So it's 30 years now. Can't believe that, David. It's crazy. So 30 years. So I've been doing this, guys. During that time, I want you to think about that. I've been through multiple market cycles, been up and down, all kinds of market cycles, good cycles, bad cycles, and all that. I'm still actively doing the business. And you do realize there's very few people that are hitting this 30-year mark that are still doing the business. David knows that himself. Okay? We've crossed over 3,000 deals, flips, rentals, commercial, multifamily, wholesaling, novations. We do it all. Well, we should say we've done it all over the years. Now we've become a lot more niched in some different areas, but I've done a little bit of everything over those years. Also, I've been in a position where now I've been blessed enough to be able to really focus on running these organizations more as a leader, as a CEO. And I got myself down to 3 to 4 hours in the real estate space. Okay. And guys, think about that. So I'm not actively, taking care of moving all the parts. My team does that. And that's kind of what I'm sharing with you guys today. So we usually are closing out an average at least 15 deals a month, allows me to focus on teaching others to do the same thing. Can we take it up to 30? Absolutely. Okay. But that's what I enjoy. Okay. That's the beautiful thing about it. You can take it whatever level you want. And guys, I've been able to help a lot of people. And we have real estate entrepreneurs that use our methods, our strategies and trainings to grow their business so they can start actually love what they do, and really ultimately get the fulfillment out of the life they want. And this is just, I love seeing stuff like this when I have a lot of people in our community that shoot me messages all the time about deals they're doing, things that are happening, and it's exciting and it's fun. Okay. So I want to share with you guys, let's see here. I'm not going to play this one here for you guys, but this is just one of my actual students that came to one of my events that we do right in our office here. Okay. Awesome gentleman. You might know him, Brad Woodall, just tremendous gentleman here. He's located in Atlanta, Georgia area. What he said is, really got from this is stop being a deal chaser and start building a real business. And guys, I'll share on that a little bit more here in just a few minutes, but you got to think differently. Okay.
The Atlanta market.
Sorry, guys, we're going to keep on moving forward here. Okay. So let's do this together and let's make it happen. So, all right. I mentioned to you these 3 challenges that I see. So challenge number 1 is that think about this. You're ready to build a real business, but you don't know how because you're too busy doing everything yourself, right? You're too busy in every box. You're too busy really having a high-paying job here. So we have to solve that. So what I've learned, guys, this was a real eye-opening experience for me many, many years ago. And here's what it came down to. I realized something. There was 2 different things here when I'm looking at this business. And guys, I want you guys to think about this. A lot of you might be newer in this, and you ought to be thankful for that you're getting exposed to this now. Because when I first started, it took me over 10 years to get to this point where I realized this. And just share with you guys, I had built this massive machine up. I think it was about 20 people working for me. And I had this big machine. I had like 4 full-time project managers. I was doing multiple rehabs. I had this whole production line process. But the problem was I hated it and I couldn't stand it. I wasn't enjoying myself. I had this big machine built up. I just wasn't happy. And on top of that, not only that, I couldn't stand my own team. So I hated the model and I hated my own team. That's pretty bad to be in that position. Here's what I realized. One day, I just basically got to the point where I pretty well had a nervous breakdown almost. And I realized that, okay, I just basically drew a line down the center piece of paper. One side, I just wrote down real estate. And I realized that something here. I said, really, I'm just in real estate. And the other side, I wrote down business. And here's what hit me on this. What I realized, I said, oh my gosh, all these years, I've been doing this, all these years. What I was doing, I was nothing more than being in real estate, and I was never building a company. I was just in real estate doing this over and over again. And what I was doing, I was a deal chaser. I was just chasing one deal after another. If I didn't chase the deal, nothing happened. Think about it, I had this whole team. And I realized that, wait a minute, if Jerry didn't put the deal together, they didn't have anything to rehab. If Jerry didn't give the directions for the project managers, nothing happened. If Jerry didn't give directions on how the layout would look in the property, things weren't going to happen. I said, wait a minute, everybody is riding my coattail. They're riding the Jerry wave. And I said, this has got to change. And that's exactly what happened. And we made this huge, huge change here. But what I realized is I was just a deal chaser. I don't have any time to be in the position where I can work on the business. I was too much being involved in working in the business. And you could be just starting up, guys, and getting this thing going, and you can start applying this stuff. In fact, you know what's interesting is I get a lot of people that ask me, Jerry, what would you have done differently if you could go back and talk to the younger Jerry and say, hey, younger Jerry, what would you have done differently when you first started? And I always tell everybody, the first thing I would have started doing right out of the gate, I would have treated this as a business on day one and stopped treating it as a hobby or just something on the side, okay? So that's what I changed. That's how I changed my mind, guys, on this. So then I realized that you are a deal chaser. Again, that deal chaser just I'm bringing that up over and over again because when you're in real estate, that's what happens. You're just in the chase. You're so busy, you don't have time to look at even working on the business. Now, what I did at that time, when that happened, I made a decision, guys, literally. At that moment in time, I realized I was highly stressed. I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't enjoy the people or anything. And I made a decision and I ended up letting go of almost 75 to 80% of my team. And I thought, I got to rebuild this thing, retool this thing. So what I started looking at, it was something different. I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on building a business. So now what I'm going to do is I started looking at more working on the business instead of in the business. And I started treating this thing as real estate as a real business. And then I realized that decisions are going to be made by what we call KPIs, which are key performance indicators. So I have like a navigation system in place, okay? And then I thought, wait a minute, okay? If I'm going to have a real business, this thing should be able to continue with or without me being involved every single day. So I started looking at this. And at that moment in time, when I pretty well cleaned house and looked at this way, I changed everything. And guys, I want you to think of it this way. What I realized was just being in real estate, and that's where a lot of people are at, just chasing deals, running like crazy, overseeing rehab, picking up materials, doing all this stuff, managing their own properties, all this. You can do that for a period of time, but it's going to burn you out. And I guarantee you, it will wear you down to the point where you won't want to do it anymore. And on top of that, you'll never have a company because that company, if you go away, even for 2 or 3 weeks on vacation, production stops. And you guys got to get out of that mindset because it will absolutely kill you if you don't change this. I just personal experience, guys. And I've seen multiple entrepreneurs, people come to me all the time, spend 2 days in my office with my team and I, so we can turn around and help them fix this for them. All right. And we see how people's lives change. So stop just being in the grind and being that deal chaser. Start building a company, because if you do it right, I want you to think of this. I mentioned earlier when we first started, I said, if you look at cell phones, Okay, that's a product, right? If I was in the business of cell phones, I would figure out a business model of how to move as much product as possible. Well, guess what? Now in real estate, once you guys do this, why don't we focus on building a business? And then real estate is nothing more than a product. We just move as much product as possible. That product might be, maybe your production line might be wholesale. Your production line might be fix and flip. It might be novations. It doesn't really matter. We have to change the way we look at this stuff, guys. And then we can start seeing the impact. So is everybody with me on this so far? Is everybody with me?
Good stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. I want you guys to give me some interaction here. All right. So the next thing I'm going to look at is this. The solution for number one, guys, the solution for number one, my top three is one, you have to have some type of daily, what we call pulse meetings, or some people refer to them as huddle meetings. And this is tracking you and your team's actions every single day. And it's funny, David, I get solopreneurs I work with all the time. And a lot of these solopreneurs, they go, well, Jerry, it's just me right now. And I'll say, even more reason to track your production, okay? Because guys can get caught up in your false metrics really quickly on things. If you think about that, you can start doing things that don't matter whatsoever at all. And I see this all the time. Well, they're like, I spent all week, you think about it, you see people that spend all week and they don't turn around and make one single offer. What they're doing is they're doing all this other stuff, trying to get their CRM, trying to get their logo set up. They're trying to do all the stuff that doesn't move the needle. Well, you have to start that with you, even if it's a solopreneurship, and then you can build from there. Then you can start, if you start doing this now by yourself, when you build a team, it'll make it so much easier to build and bring a team in when you put all these things in place now. So do it right the first time, okay? Does that all make sense, guys? I hope so. Yes. All right, let's keep on rolling. So the next thing we're gonna look at here is become very niched. Niche, guys, equals rich. This is something that I had to learn from, I had one of my mentors taught me this years ago. He said, Jerry, he says, look, especially in real estate, look, there's so many different ways we can make money in this business, but you cannot do it all at once. So you got to become very niche on things. So it doesn't mean, what I'm telling you is don't go out there and think you're going to fix and flip, wholesale, do wholesales, go around, buy multifamily, all this stuff at once. Get very clear on your niche. If you do that, guys, you'll be able to then blast it off. And I guarantee you, David's going to agree 100% with me on that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So, and then you got to get clarity on a real good clarity on something we call your unique genius zone. Now, you guys thought I was going to come in and just tell you all about doing certain types of deals. No, I'm talking about stuff that it doesn't relate to just the type of deals you're doing. If you can't get these things straight, none of those types of deals are going to matter. Okay. So clearly, tracking your data every single day and knowing how your team's performing. We do it what we call daily pulse meetings. Okay, we train all our team members are on that. Our students we work with in our community do this, and then you become very niche on. And again, that niche is going to equal rich to you. Then you have to get clarity on your unique genius zone. And what you're going to find out, guys, this is crazy on this. Okay, I was just talking to a gentleman the other day, and he was telling me about how he got clear on his genius zone, and within 2 years, his personal income shot up 400%. 400% becoming clear on his genius zone. And what that means, I'm not talking about, and this is personal income. I'm not saying your business income is going to jump up. What you have to do, guys, you have to get clear on this genius zone of what are you really good at? Not just what you're good at, ask other people what you're good at, okay? Ask other people what is your unique skills. And I've learned from working with a lot of people, my genius zone is taking complicated things and breaking it down and training others to be able to scale through sales, just be able to build things and be able to take these complicated things and really break it down to a system that helps people. That's part of my unique genius zone and being very authentic. And you guys need to do the same, okay? So we'll keep on rolling here. All right, so challenge number two is you're unclear on how to systemize your business and buy back your time. Well, how do we do that? Well, I think all of you have probably been to one of these at some point in time in your life, right? And if I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen the movie The Founder. I'm David, I'm sure you have, brother. So,
oh my goodness, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Foundational for understanding how to run a business.
100%. And the solution, guys, to this challenge, number 2, is to McDonaldize your business. You have to do this. It's so, guys, I cannot stress this enough. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the movie, but if you ever, there's one scene in the movie that I love, and that is when they're in this, they're basically out like in the parking lot or tennis courts, wherever that is, and they take like chalk and draw out on the chalk what the kitchen looks like.
Yes.
And they draw all the tables and where all the prep stations and everything are. And what they start doing is they start going through what the production line would look like and actually walking through how it's going to flow, right? And what's going to happen. And I think when you guys start doing that, you'll be blown away. And that's what I've learned in this business here. Like I said, what I just shared with you a few minutes ago, you got to start treating this as a business. And when you do that, guys, this is amazing, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our real estate business that we do, putting deals together, fixing, flipping, buying and holding, wholesaling, whatever it is, we're going to turn around and we're going to create a production line process out of it. And if you start thinking about a production line, just like McDonald's here, they've got it down. And then when they can do this, you can take it to whatever level you want, literally whatever level you want. But if you don't do this, it is a major struggle on things. Okay. So what's that said? Let's go in and talk about some solutions. Okay. To number 2, my top 3 for number 2. So first of all, on this, you guys got to be in a position where you must create and put into place what we call standard operating procedures, absolute must, what we call SOPs. Something that we've been able to do, and this is something I'm very, very proud of, is I have a COO that works for me. Her name's Ashley. David knows her very well. Ashley's been with me now over 10 years. She started as an assistant. So some of you that are looking, building this up into a real business, get that assistant on board. Get somebody good like that. Get them in there on things. Because if you do, what you're going to find is if they're the right person, you can groom them. David's been able to do the same thing like with Heather. It's the same thing, guys. And what happens is when you can build this. But what we've done is we've been able to go in and we've created these standard operating procedures for every position within our company, down to the actual assistants. Everybody has a standard operating procedure. This is their roadmap. This is what they do daily. They understand it. It's so clear. And this makes it so nice. And what we've done, guys, is not only we use it in our own business, but all of our students that come in and work with us here in our office. We have people come in, spend 2 days with us in our office, just like David had Heather come in on things. And we just give you guys our SOPs. So what, it's like a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, wow, these took a lot of work. Yes, they took a lot of work. We just released our brand. We got our new one for our follow-up specialists. It's 11 pages long. It spells out everything that they do, when they do it, what steps they need to do, all of that. This is the detail that you need to put in place. So when you're building your business and you want to turn around and start putting people in place in your organization, you have that standard operating procedure, just like McDonald's does. Guess what? That means that we can cook French fries the same here in Ohio as I can in Australia, okay? Because I have a standard operating procedure I can put in place. Extremely, extremely important on this. Secondly, you got to be in a position to have a clear success formula plan for each position. In just a few minutes, I'm actually going to share with you what that looks like. This is what we call our success formula plan. I mentioned to you, I've had a lot of mentors over the years, and I still have mentors I work with. Well, one of my mentors built this company to do over $300 million a year in revenue. And it wasn't real estate, it was another business. But one of the things he taught me was what we call a success formula plan. And what it is, it's a clear path for that team member of what success looks like to them. And what they do is they identify that, and then it breaks it down to they understand what they need to be doing on a daily basis, as also what they need to be doing over the next 90 days. Extremely powerful tool, okay? So I want you guys to think about that. And this is, like I said, I'll share it to you here in just a minute. But this allows every single person, we let every person on the team has to have one of these, from our lead manager or we refer to them as follow-up specialists, to our acquisitions people, to our dispo people, to our transaction coordinator. Everybody in the company has one of these, okay? And then thirdly, we have to have a clear accountability chart and make sure that that accountability chart is very clear with every single team member, even if it's just you, and the flow of business. It's funny, David, I have a lot of people I work with that I've coached over the years, and these people come to me and they go, why are you making me write out an accountability chart? It's just me. I said, well, number one, do you always want it to be just you? No. I said, well, shut up and listen. Do the work. Because what you're going to do is when you really find out how many moving parts there is in your business and you realize how much time you spend in each one of them, then you're going to get clarity on why you can't grow. And then this also gives you the ability to look in there and say, hey, wait a minute, all these open boxes, I can't be in all these here. And guess what? That's not in my unique genius zone. So I need to get somebody else to take one of these boxes. So you can see how this starts tying together, guys, okay? So, all right, so let's keep on rock and rolling, guys. And right here, I'll share with you, this is our success formula plan. We lay this out for every single person on the team. It goes down to key performance indicators, fallout percentage, revenue, whatever it is on things, okay? This is just an example of things. And we even tie it down to that person, how much they're contributing to the company. So that person is responsible for a certain amount. So this person is responsible for $360,000 in revenue to the business, okay? So we get clear on that. So guys, this is an extremely powerful tool, and this is what allows us to get clarity for everyone on the team, all right? And I'll just share with you, like, for instance, on acquisitions on our side of things, we know that a lot of people get caught up in a lot of numbers on acquisitions, right? And they say, well, you know, look, I got to make so many calls. I got to do this. And acquisitions people become overwhelmed on that, but we got to get a clear success plan for them. It's like on our acquisitions team members, we know their success plan where they're going to excel at the highest level is that they average out of every 3 offers that they make will convert to a contract. We know that by historical data. And I know some of you are saying, well, I'm just getting started. You got to stop that excuse about I'm just getting started. Any other business that you would go into, if you were opening up a franchise, would you start following the franchise's processes now or later? You're going to do it now, because guess what? If you don't do it now, you're probably not going to be part of the franchise anymore, and you're not going to make the money you should. So don't think you're too soon to start putting these things in place. And then some of you already have a team. The reason the reason you're having roller coasters of your income, the reason you're not growing is because you don't have these in place, okay? So, all right, next thing we look at is the third challenge is your team, you or your team are struggling closing deals that you know you should be closing. And this comes down to understanding sales process. So what am I going to do? I'm going to focus on the solutions for this challenge. Number 3. So here's my top 3 on this. 1, you need to realize that overspending on marketing without fixing the conversion issue will absolutely kill you and your business. I promise you guys on that. I've seen too many people go down the tubes because they don't fix this problem. You can spend a ton of money on marketing, guys, okay? So next thing I look at is your salespeople, or you or your salespeople must work from a predictable sales process. There's no exceptions to this whatsoever at all. If you're just going out there and you're just throwing offers out, you're not doing anything that's planned, it's going to come back and it's going to bite you in the butt. Because what think about this. Is marketing expensive, guys? Tell me, does everybody agree marketing is expensive? Yeah, marketing's a lot of money. You're throwing marketing dollars out there and you're not turning around and converting every single lead that is a potential real closable deal, you're wasting money there, and you're throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars simply because you don't understand the proper way to close those people. And what we've learned is a lot of our people that we call tire kickers, or I have a lot of students or other investors that say, well, they're tire kickers. We convert a lot of those because we understand how to work a sales process properly. And then number 3 is you have to make sure you onboard and train your sales team multiple times a week. Now, if this is just you still need to make sure you're training multiple times a week to keep yourself engaged. It's a skill. It's like anything else. If you're in the position where you're trying to run the marathon or anything else that you're trying to do in life, if you're not consistent with that, you're going to lose that. Sales is the same way. And also the onboarding process, especially if you're bringing in team members, if you don't onboard them correctly, they're not going to be with you long because they don't understand what needs to be done. And what we do is we train people, and I'll give you three different things here, what we do. So when we bring people on, and in the sales component, we train them in three different areas on onboarding. One, we train them through operations, so they understand how to work things, how to work CRM, how to make sure that they're saying things properly to the client when they're on the phone, because we lock up all our deals virtually, or at least 95% of them. We also train operationally. The next thing we train on is contract presentation, how to present the contract properly to the client. Too many deals are lost because contracts aren't presented right. Next thing you know, the seller says, well, you didn't tell me I was going to pay all these taxes. And then they walk out, they don't want to close, right? These are the things that can kill your deals. And then thirdly, it's all heavy sales training. But then we've learned it's that onboarding process is broke out in three components. If you want to be successful, anytime bringing somebody on, even if it's a virtual assistant doing acquisitions for you, these are the things that must be in place, okay? So, all right, so I'm gonna keep on rolling here. So what I'm gonna share with you guys right now, I'm just kind of giving a quick overview on things. I know we wanna make sure we're respectful on time here, but I want you to all look at this here. This right here is our secret sauce to being amazing at acquisitions or sales. So basically what we're looking at here is my sales process. This is my intellectual property that I've created and we copyrighted. This is our sales process. And what this is, and I'm just going to review this real quickly. Number one, step one, what we do is we do something we call set the stage. We remove the pressure. And what that does, remove sales pressure, allows us to have open and honest communication with our clients. Instead of just walking into somebody, not having any idea of what's going on in the conversation. Guys, this is so important. So real quickly, setting the stage, we cover time, agenda, and outcome. What that does is it relieves pressure and allows us to be able to get into the gate and have a conversation. Second component is where I would say 90% of salespeople or investors drop the ball, is they do not create, they don't pull out enough motivation, they don't create urgency. So we actually do a training on this here that takes 4 weeks with people to go through. This is so important to be able to let people understand that. It's huge, okay? So you got to be able to go in and you got to understand where people are at. You got to pull out the motivation. You got to create the urgency. And just so you know that what we've learned is our students that do the best to convert the highest amount of deals and the biggest margins spend an average of 20 to 25 minutes talking to a seller just on this area alone. So if you're talking to sellers and you're in and out on a call or an appointment in 10 minutes, you're losing deals because of that. Number 3, we go in what we call deal killers. So basically we remove any hurdles that will keep the prospect from taking action. And guess what? We do it before we try to close, not afterwards. Very poorly trained salespeople, what they do is they go in and they try to do this after. They make an offer and then you hear this stuff, well, let me talk to, I got to talk to my cousin, he's a real estate agent. Or, can I run this by my attorney? Or, I'm thinking about listing the property. I'm not sure that I want to do that. That's too much, that's not enough money. Right? All of you guys have heard these things. Take those out of the way before we offer them the money, before we do that. And then the last step is what we call basically the close, but it's the end of the assembly line. And when people learn my sales process, what happens, guys, is my students that work with me, they learn that the close is not about closing the seller. It's about closing the process. Because if we do everything right through 1 through 3, they're already sold. All we have to do is bring it to this end of the assembly line, negotiate, and bring things together. That's the key when it comes to this. So this is so powerful, guys. And if you apply this is what it will change your game. So I mentioned earlier, let's do this together. So I have a question, guys, okay? And look, if I invited you all to my office and showed you the exact systems I use and how to set it up in 2 days, would anybody be interested in coming and spending 2 days in my office? It's right here in Ohio, okay? Dayton area, for 2 days to learn from my team and I directly. We do a small event, typically it's about 20 people. David's sent people here and everything. Come in and just spend time with us. Just come in and do the business. We're going to come in and we're going to talk about it and make things happen. So I'll show you a little bit more about this. All right. So also, this is the same system that allows me to close 10, 15 deals or more each month. consistently. Boom, 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 without me being involved in all the day-to-day things, right? So, you just think about this, and it can help you, one, bring consistency, predictability, and it really back to your real estate business, stabilize your monthly cash flow. So many investors suffer this roller coaster. And to be in this position too, where you can grow and level up your team, either small or big. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people come in, they think, well, I got to be in a position where I don't want to have a big team. You don't have to have a big team. Literally, I'm telling you guys, you could have a team of 4 people and do $1 million a year in revenue. 4. And some of you might just want to do it with your spouse or something like that. That's fine. You want to do $500,000 a year, whatever it is, that's cool. Okay. And then you start learning to remove yourself from the time-sucking tasks that you hate, that's not in your genius zone. And you're going to be in a position where you can turn around and put what I call the deal engineer, someone in the deal engineer seat, and not be that deal chaser anymore. Be that person that's able to convert deals on a high level, allow you to scale with confidence and cut down on how much you work by really cutting. And if you could cut it, even if you're going to cut it down 10 hours right now, would that make a difference? And then you can compound that. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to get at. This is not some fluff crap. Plus, you get a direct access to me and what I like at Rockstar team. So you actually get to come in, be with us for 2 days, learn our business. You'll be able to observe the roles, see what we do, actually even see them doing deals. And basically, we're going to expose to you exactly what we do and how we've done it and how I've been able to build this up for the last 30 years. But most importantly, guys, if I could help you and avoid all the headaches that comes with growing and scaling your real estate business, then get a better system for operating your business much faster. And here's why I look. If I can cut yourself in a position where it's 10 years, huge, okay? So what would that be worth to you guys? That's my question. What would it be worth to you guys? What if the investment was 10,000, 20,000? It's not, okay? So look, if only you can commit to showing up and just putting in the work, that's what I want you guys to do, okay? And look, if you are, I just want you to look at this. If you are, then I want you to do something, or should I say, I want to do something extra for you guys on this. And what I want to do is I'm offering this, guys, today for $24.97. And this is what I'm offering to you guys. Now, on top of that, I'm going to do something else here today too, is being that you're on this webinar with my man, David here, I highly respect him on things. I'm going to also, and this is only for the people, David, on your webinar.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm going to take another $497 off of that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you guys can come for just $2,000 investment, $2,000 investment. That's it. Now, with that said, this reserves you and basically we'll put you in a VIP seat, 2 days in my office in Dayton, Ohio. We keep it small. Now, sometimes people say, well, I don't like to travel or my finances don't allow me to travel. That's okay. What we've learned too is we have people that do this virtually. So you can attend it virtually as well. And then if any of you attend it virtually, I will still honor that you can come back in sometime in person too at no extra cost.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is not your average training. Okay. You can tell that Dave and I we're some good old boys, right? This ain't your average training.
That's right.
Okay. So guys, here's what I'm just going to say. If this is something you're interested in, this is a QR code that I want you to use. For some reason that you need to talk a little further on things, what I want you to do is, I think that Cindy on my team is in here. Okay. Yep. I'll hit on some dates here on this, Tim, here in just a minute. Let me just go in and let me hit on that. I'm going to have Cindy here too, drop in her phone number on our chat. So, but here's the game plan and I'll give you the dates. Okay. So the game plan is this. Day one, it's systems, people. I'm just going to tell you though, it's very important that you have to come in and be willing to do the work. I don't want you to come in, think you're just going to sit around, not do anything. You got to come in and be willing to do the work. So what we're going to do in day one, I'm not going to read all this to you, but we're going to lay out a complete game plan for you and your business. We're going to break down every component from hiring to managing, how to train properly, and really start the game plan of how to remove you. Okay. Day two, we're going to continue things. but also we're going to spend a full day, or at least 3/4 of that day, just on sales. And we're going to talk about what it really takes to be great at acquisitions, how to become what we call a deal engineer, so you can look at multiple programs for your sellers, and really how to close all these closable deals. And start breaking it down from the perfect sales call outline, and how to get to the point of getting to doing what we call one call closes. So those 2 days, it's a long 2 days. We will feed you, we'll have breakfast, we'll have lunch, we'll have dinner. You just got to get your butt here, okay? Get your butt here. My team, we're located right along I-75. You can come in. Our next date is April 25th and 26th, Thursday and Friday in Dayton. Again, if you cannot make it in person, no big deal. You can also do it virtually. But if you want this discount pricing, guys, on things, you need to take action now. Now, for some reason, if those dates don't work for you whatsoever at all, go ahead and still grab your seat, because we're going to be doing about another, I think we got another 4 or 5 dates yet this year that we're going to be releasing. So, but don't get hung up on this, because one of those dates will work with you. The main thing is take advantage of the special pricing, lock in your seat now, and then my team can work with you on this. Let's see here. Like I said, I want to make sure you guys have the ability to do that whenever you can. Now, that's our next dates on this. Now, like I said, it can be live here or you can do it virtually. I highly recommend, if you can, guys, to come in and be in person. But if you can't, I understand it. Sometimes people just can't do it because of health reasons, or, their budget doesn't allow them to do that. All right. So you can reserve your seat and start getting the growth going right now. I don't know if you guys know this gentleman, but Michael Smith, and he's blown things up, guys, to a whole nother level. And to show you real quickly, guys, Michael came into our event probably about a little over 3 years ago, and it's just changed this around. And I don't know if you guys saw this recently. He just did $800,000 in 1 quarter.
Yeah, Michael Smith, just started to get into wholesaling in Columbus, Ohio. What kicked me off here was, one, a couple people I know had used Jerry and strongly recommended him. 2, I just read Rocket Fuel and just realizing I am a visionary, and systems, processing aren't my thing, and tedious task, and just how I need to really integrate and build that processes out. And I don't have to be in the business either. So Jerry himself's great, his team's great. He's got it down to a science, and 27 years in the business, it helps you lead your progress so much faster. Anyone who is just struggling with a business and not having systems and processes, technically you can take anything he took today and roll it into any business, right? But anyone who's just thinking about starting a business, anyone who is just a 1-man, 2-man, 3-man show and just wants to get out of their business and grow it, someone who wants more freedom, more income, any one of those, anyone like that.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Let me just move ahead here, guys. So, comes down to this, all right? Yeah, look, you made it this far. You guys have stayed on here on the training, and you're just left with 2 choices. Pretty simple. You can go ahead and, we can log all off, and I hope you take what you learned today and go out and apply it, okay? And that's okay. I have no problem with that. And, if that's what you want to do, then, guys, that's perfectly fine. But also, you have a choice, and if you choose a different path and come to our office and learn how to build the right systems, processes, the sales structure in your business, will change your game. And it's not something I'm just telling you that might happen. It will happen if you apply it and do what I tell you. And here's the spot again to reserve your seat. And David,
yeah,
that's what I have for your group of people here today. And I'll open it up. I'll stop the share. We'll open it up and make sure everybody has a QR code. If you guys have any questions, or do you want to be able to talk to one of my key team members here, Cindy, she can definitely help you on that. What I'll do is let me also, with this being a smaller group, David, I'm going to do something I typically don't do, is I'm going to give you Cindy's contact number. Okay. So, and then guys, so Cindy's contact number here is area code 513-567-1467. And let's see here. I think I can, let's see if I can drop this. I'm going to drop this in here, David, too, in the number, okay? In the chat. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 513. Make sure you guys got all that. 513-567, and that's 1467. Okay. So I'll drop that in real quick so you can contact her directly as well. Or if you guys are ready to go and you want to do that, just use the link. Now again, this link, you guys will see, this is specifically through David. This is not through anything else. Anybody else goes, you're going to pay the full price. But you save that $497 to my man here, and you want to do it. And again, you can attend virtually, in person, or you can be in a position where you can come on the other dates. And I'll just tell you simply, guys, and then we'll take a few questions here. If you're in a position where you're not struggling with any of those items that we went over, if you're not having problem closing deals, you're not having people ghost you, telling you that your offer's too low, other people beating you out, if you're in a position where you're not stressing on how you're going to accomplish all this, having problems managing everything within your business, having struggle with employees, having struggle hiring people, if you're not having any problems with that, then this will do you no good. But if you are, I'll make an impact. So, yep. All right, David, let's, yeah, absolutely, brother. So I'm sorry I went a little bit over. But
no, dude, dude, I was sitting here taking notes too. So it's always good, always good to get the gold nuggets. But guys, I can't tell you, when I sent Heather up to Jerry's office, I've been wholesaling for 8 years and done over 1,000 deals. So no matter what level you're at, you can always learn. And again, even our transactions company, we handle some of the biggest wholesalers in the country, and I promise you they would all get something, every single one of them, out of this training that would just change their business, right? Because we can always get better. And where you were 6 months ago, you're a different person today because you've learned things and have new experiences. And you can take the information that, someone like Jerry, after 30 years in the business, is going to tell you, and you're going to be able to apply it. And those are the things that give you those rapid growths in your business. And, one thing you talked about, Jerry, was, building that team and going from kind of that hustler to CEO business, businessman mindset, where you're actually running a company. And that's hard. That's hard for a lot of us. It was very
100%.
I tell people I was going to a meeting one day with all my staff, and they looked at me and they're like, well, where are you going? I'm like, well, we're going to the meeting. And they're like, where are you? We don't need you in this meeting. And it hurt my feelings a little bit. And I felt like Charlie Brown standing there with my book, no place to go. But that's what building a great team will do. And until you experience that, and you have, I'm leaving for 10 days tomorrow, and I have zero concern that honestly, they'll probably operate better without me here mucking things up. So, and I know your girls feel the same way about you, Jerry. They're like, go out, go.
Oh yeah, they can't wait to get rid of me.
I know it hurts your feelings, but on the other side, you're also proud because we've assembled these amazing teams. But you have to learn the skills to figure that out.
Absolutely.
And listen, if you just want to do 1 or 2 deals a month and kind of hustle and it be a little side thing, cool. But if you're looking to turn this into a business that's doing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a quarter, $1 million a year, then you need to implement this stuff. And one thing that I talk about when I do a lot of presentations is the struggle that I had in the beginning is I was just hitting a ceiling. There was only so much I could do. I couldn't get it all done because I was trying to do everything, and that was kind of this bad programming that I had in my brain. And had I, met Jerry 15 years ago, my God, I don't know where I'd be today, because he would have taught me that you should not be trying to do it all yourself. You've got to outsource. You've got to build a team.
Absolutely.
And, I'm telling you guys, even for those of you that are new, I know a couple of you are, I would do this today so that you build your business on good footing.
Yep.
Right?
And look, that's what I'm saying. We work with people that are newer as well as people doing a long time. So I think somebody asked about private funding. What we'll do, guys, that definitely we can help you with that direction. If you're looking at raising private capital, we have a lot of good systems for that. I've raised a lot of money over the years. Once you learn that, it's really not that hard. It's just understanding. It comes down to understanding how the positioning is going to be on that. And really what you got to do, I'll just give you one little tip on that, is get to the point where you're not asking for money. You're helping people by educating them, and then they will offer you the money.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so cool. Well, let's see, David. Well, listen, man, I sure appreciate it. And like I said, I know we went a little bit over on time, but look, anything else I can do to help? If anybody has any questions here, I'll be glad to answer before we jump off. I don't want to hold you guys up on things, but love to work with you guys, spend 2 days with you guys here in my office, and just make a big impact on you and your business and help you do it the right way.
That's right.
Still grinding at it. Let me cut 10 years off your learning curve. Okay.
Yeah. Don't build a company and go 2 years from now, oh, that was let me tear it all down and build it again. Oh, 2 years later, well, that didn't work. Let me tear it all down again. Right. How much further ahead you would be, right?
100%.
All of us, every single one of us here, if we're honest with ourselves, we're smarter than we were 5 years ago, right? We have more experience. We're further down, right? So imagine, where you'd be in 5 years from now if you start the honestly, the right foundation for building that company. So I would encourage you guys to do it. I've done it. I just think it's a smart thing to do if you're serious about this business. Like you said, if you're that person that really wants to grow and turn this into something, because guys, I will tell you, real estate will give you the greatest life you could ever imagine.
Yep. Yeah. You just remember, guys, that one thing I always tell everybody is this. You have to understand that successful entrepreneurs realize something, and that is something that they do. This was actually a study done on this, is that they do something called creating points of no return. And you have to learn how to create these points of no return. In this study, what they found out that the entrepreneurs that succeeded on the highest level created these points of no return multiple times throughout their life and career. And what they dug in deeper was, where did those points of no return come from? It was making a financial investment into your future self, a financial investment to your future self, whether that be through trainings you're doing, marketing that you're committing to, launching a new business, whatever that is. Okay. It's making those commitments into your future self. That's where the universe opens up to you guys on that and brings you the opportunity. But you can't do it by just hiding in a hole. So
that's why they call it an investment, right?
Yep.
The reward comes after you make the investment. The reward does not come before you make the investment. So
I think, David, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today. I gave you some value. Take it, use it. A lot of you that will be reaching out to us, I'm looking forward to connect with you deeper, having you in the office, or even if you're attending virtual and you need to come into the office later, that's fine. Either way, we'll help you guys on things. Okay. And if you need to, just reach out to Cindy. I gave you guys the number, and be glad to work with you, talk with you, help you guys out on that side. Do we have some other questions?
Yeah. Miles was asking if you'll share your CRM marketing and scripts.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You're going to get to go in kind of behind the curtain at the Wizard of Oz and see his team working, like really working deals. Get to stand there and watch them on the phone. And I'm going to tell you, that's very valuable. I paid a lot of money to go visit teams all over the country and be able to do that. And this is a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing I'll just say, JD, on things, bro, on that. That's where you got to cut. That's where you got to make a decision to commit to your future self. Yeah. Okay. And I always say this. Here's one thing I'll tell you on this. Just you got to look at it this way. If you were absolutely busted, had no ability, no money whatsoever at all, but I came to you with an opportunity to buy a Ferrari for $10,000, would you find the money? Every one of you would find the money. Everyone would find the money. So the money is not the issue. It comes down to, what are you willing to do to commit to that? And that's what you guys, believe me, I know that, because when I first started, I was bankrupt. So in this business back in the 90s. So you can't let that stuff hold you back, guys. Okay.
Well, I was so broke, I didn't have enough money to be considered broke. We were half broke.
Well,
yeah, man, absolutely. There's always a way to figure this out. And, without a doubt, if you apply yourself and do the things that Jerry's going to teach you, you could be doing $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, in the end of a year. And if that's not worth $2,500, I mean, I think it's a ridiculously cheap price.
It is. It is.
A lot more in Ohio to have the ability to come to us.
Yep, absolutely. And if you need some help on JD on some short-term financing or something, dude, just reach out to my office. There's a couple things we can do. I don't want to hold anybody back the opportunity to be able to do this, brother. Okay. So, well, listen, David, I really appreciate you, man. I love you, brother. And, thank you so much. And everybody that was on here, hopefully enjoyed the live. And of course, hopefully you can take this and share this with your other people too that weren't able to attend, and let's rock it out, bro. Okay.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
All right. See you, man.